Hello everybody. Before we get started in today's video, I just want to go over real quickly how a lot of these megalithic structures, they are not directly carbon dated. Carbon dating, a cornerstone in archaeology, works by measuring the decay of carbon-14 in organic materials. But here's the catch. Stones being inorganic don't contain carbon. So how do we date these massive timeless blocks? Optically simulated luminescence. This method measures when the stone was last exposed to sunlight by dating the sediment around or under the stones. We get a clue about when they were placed. Thermoluminescence. For pottery or burnt stones, this technique tells us the last time the material was heated, giving us an approximate age. Dendrochronology. When wooden elements are involved, like in some megalithic tombs, tree ring dating can provide precise years, but this is rare with stone structures. Archaeomagnetism. Fired clay or pottery near stones can record the Earth's magnetic field at the time of firing. By comparing this to known changes in the Earth's magnetic field, we can estimate the dates. And contextual dating. Sometimes we look at associated artifacts or cultural layers. If we find pottery or tools with known dates near the stones, we can infer the stone's age. So as you go through this video, keep in mind, even if they find materials or bones at these structures, you don't know. Like, that might just been someone who found it and died there. So last thing, if you guys could hit subscribe and like this video, it's going to help me out tremendously. If you like this kind of content, or if I missed something, please comment it below, because all that helps in the algorithm also. Enjoy the video. Göbekli Tepe was first noted by archaeologists in the 1960s, but its significance was not recognized until 1994 when systematic excavations began. It is located in Turkey. The site's importance was brought to light by Klaus Schmidt, a German archaeologist who started excavating there in 1995. Göbekli Tepe has been subject to radiocarbon dating. The earliest structures date back to around 9600 BCE, which places it in the pre-pottery and Neolithic period. As of 2024, Göbekli Tepe would be approximately 11,600 years old, considering its construction around 9600 BCE. It's often referred to as the world's oldest known temple, predating Stonehenge by about 6,000 years. This challenges the traditional view of agriculture led to the development of complex societies, suggesting instead that the need for monumental architecture might have spurred social organization. The site features T-shaped limestone pillars, which some are of 16 feet tall and weigh up to 50 tons. These are arranged in circles, believed to be for ritualistic purposes. Around 8000 BCE, the site was deliberately buried under soil and debris, possibly to preserve it or move on from the cultural significance as new ways of life emerged with the advent of agriculture. While Stonehenge has been recognized for a long time, John Aubrey, an English antiquarian, was one of the first to make detailed observation of the site in the 1660s. However, the term Stonehenge itself has been used since at least the 14th century. Stonehenge isn't itself directly carbon dated because it's made of stone, but organic materials found around the site, like bones and charcoal, have been dated. The construction of Stonehenge is estimated to have taken place between 3000 and 2000 BCE. That would make Stonehenge approximately 4,000 to 5,000 years old. Alignment with the celestial events. Stonehenge is aligned on the northwest and southeast axis, which aligns with the summer solstice sunrise and the winter solstice sunset, suggesting it was used for astronomical observations or rituals. Some of the stones, known as blue stones, were transported from the Preseli Hills in Wales, over 150 miles away, which is a remarkable feat for the time. Construction phase. The monument was built in several stages, which the earliest stage began a circular earthwork enclosure, followed by the erection of the large sarsen stones, and finally the placement of the blue stones. Stonehenge has attracted numerous conspiracy theories. Some of them include druids and magic, alien construction, and healing powers. This theory suggests the blue stones were chosen for their supposed healing properties, making Stonehenge a prehistoric healing center. Hagar Qim was discovered under rubble in 1839 in Malta, specifically in the village of Crende. Hagar Qim dates back to the Gantija phase, around 3600 to 3200 BC, making it approximately 5600 to 5200 years old. Solar alignments of the temple's complex features show that it actually has alignments with the sun during solstices, where sunlight passes through specific openings, illuminating certain stones, suggesting astronomical or ritual significance. Have you ever seen Indiana Jones? Construction techniques. The use of corbelling in construction and the precise fitting of massive stones without mortar indicate advanced Neolithic building techniques. Sacsayhuamán. It came to the attention of the wider world after a Spanish conquest of Peru in the 16th century. It is located in the city of Cusco. The site was already in use, known to the local populations before the Spanish arrived. However, the first detailed descriptions by Europeans were likely made by Spanish chroniclers, like Pedro Cieza de Leon of the 16th century. While the structures themselves are not directly carbon dated, again, we have items found around the site that can be attributed to the 15th century. This approximately makes the site 500 to 1600 years old, considering the construction in the 15th century. The stones are so precisely cut that they fitted together without mortar that not even a single sheet of paper can slide between them. Some of these stones weigh over 100 tons. The designs of these walls, with their zigzag pattern and inward lean, has allowed the structure to withstand numerous earthquakes, showing advanced Inca architectural knowledge. Avebury Stone Circle has been known for centuries, but its significance was recognized much earlier than its formal study. It is located in Wiltshire, England. John Aubrey, an antiquarian, made detailed observations in the 17th century, bringing it to wider scholarly attention. The construction is generally dated through archaeological context and comparison with other sites to around 2850 and 2200 BC. Avebury would approximately be 4,000 to 4,600 years old based on its estimation of construction period. Avebury boasts the largest stone circle in the world, encompassing an area that includes part of Avebury village. It features a large henge, a bank and ditch, with an outer stone circle and two smaller inner circles, showcasing a complex design for its time. Part of a larger sacred landscape, including sites like Silbury Hill and West Kennet Longbarrow, suggesting a comprehensive ceremonial use. Plain of Jars. The Plain of Jars was first brought to scholarly attention in the 1930s by French archaeologists. Though it was known locally for much longer, it's located in Laos. While the local populations were always aware of the jars, the formal archaeological interest was sparked by Madeleine Colani, a French researcher in the 1930s. The jars themselves aren't directly carbon dated due to being made of stone, but associated materials found near the jars would suggest it could be over 3,000 years old, extending back into the Iron Age. Some of the jars could be around 3,000 years old or more, with human burials dated between 700 and 1,200 years ago. The Plain of Jars feature thousands of large stone jars, some weighing up to 10 metric tons, spread across nearly 100 sites, believed to be used for funerary practices. The area was heavily bombed during the Vietnam War, leaving unexploded ordnance which still pose risk today. making it one of the most dangerous archaeological sites. The Longmen Grottoes were first constructed around 386 CE under the Northern Wei dynasty in China, specifically in Henan province. They were not discovered in the modern archaeological sense since they were actively created and used for centuries. However, their significance was recognized by various scholars and rulers over time, with formal archaeological interest peaking in the 20th century. The oldest parts of the Longmen Grottoes would be approximately 1,638 years old, given the start of the construction in 386 CE. The site showcases the evolution of Buddhist art in China, from the Northern Wei's more Indian-influenced style to the more Sinicized Tang Dynasty style, reflecting changes in Chinese culture and Buddhism. The Pyramids of Giza have been known since ancient times. They are located in Egypt near Cairo. Modern archaeological interests were reignited by figures like Napoleon's expedition in the late 18th century, which included scholars who studied the pyramids. The pyramids themselves are not directly carbon dated due to being made of stone, but associated materials like organic remains and pottery inscriptions have been dated. The construction of the Great Pyramid, for instance, is attributed to Pharaoh Khufu around 2560 BC. The pyramid would approximately be 4,584 years old, considering that construction date. The Great Pyramid is aligned almost perfectly with the cardinal points north, south, east, and west, a feat of ancient surveying that still puzzles researchers. Despite the external simplicity, the pyramids contain complex internal structures, including chambers, passages, and the king and queen's chambers in the Great Pyramid. The pyramids were originally covered with smooth, polished white limestone casings, which have mostly been removed over time, giving them their current stepped appearance. There's ongoing speculation about undiscovered chambers within or beneath the pyramids, including the Sphinx, potentially containing lost treasures and material. Some believe the pyramids have special energy or power, influencing everything from health to psychic abilities. No matter what your opinion is on the pyramids, it's safe to say that this truly is a wonder of the world. The Carnac stones have been known since ancient times, but formal archaeological interest began in the 19th century. They are located in Brittany, France. They've been a part of the landscape for millennia. However, James Milne, a Scottish antiquary, conducted some of the earliest systematic studies in the 1860s. The Carnac stones are estimated to be around 6,000 to 7,000 years old, with some alignments potentially dating back to 4,500 BC. Some believe the stones might have aligned with astronomical events, suggesting a sophisticated understanding of the sky for their time. The stones have been integrated into local folklore, with tales suggesting that they were once soldiers turned to stone by a saint or magician. Some fringe theories link the Carnac stones to the lost city of Atlantis, suggesting they might be remnants of the advanced civilization. Nabta Playa was first studied in the 1970s by an international team of archaeologists, but it gained significant attention in the late 1990s. It's located in Egypt, specifically in the Al-Wadi al-Gadi Desert, west of Abu Simbel. The site was brought to a wider academic attention by archaeologists Fred Wendorf and Romuald Schild, who were part of the combined prehistoric expedition, a team that included researchers from Southern Methodist University and Polish Academy of Sciences. This site has been carbon dating using radiocarbon methods. Artifacts and organic materials associated with this structure have been dated, and they put the megalith around 6,500 to 7,000 years ago. The site features stone circles and alignments that are believed to have been used for astronomical observations, including the summer solstice, which coincides with the onset of the monsoon season in that region. It is considered one of the earliest known astronomical sites in the world, predating Stonehenge by about 2,000 years. The site indicates a complex society with a deep understanding of astronomy, possibly linked to rituals involving cattle, water, and celestial events, suggesting a sophisticated cultural and religious life. The Dolmens of Playa. There's no specific information on when the Dolmens of Playa were first discovered. It's challenging to determine the exact age of the Dolmens of Playa. However, dolmens typically date back to the Neolithic or Bronze Age, which could place them anywhere from 4,000 to 7,000 years old. Dolmens are often associated with ancient burial practices, suggesting a sophisticated understanding of death and the afterlife in prehistoric societies. The method of construction, especially for larger dolmens, remains a subject of debate, showcasing the engineering skills of ancient builders. The Malta temples, including sites like Gantija, Hagar Qim, have been known since ancient times due to their prominent structures. However, formal archaeological interest and documentation began in the 19th century. They are located in the Malta island country in the Mediterranean Sea. Significant archaeological work was conducted by various researchers over the centuries. For instance, drawn by John Pierre Howell in the 18th century, and systematic excavations were later carried out by various archaeologists. Elements of the temple-associated artifacts have been carbon dated. The dating places their construction between approximately 3600 BC and 2500 BC. That puts this temple about 5,500 to 6,000 years old. Some of these temples show alignments with the sun's movements, suggesting they might have been used for astronomical observations or rituals linked to solar events. The temples were built without the use of metal tool or the wheel, showcasing the builders' sophisticated understanding of construction techniques for their time. These structures indicate a complex society with a deep understanding of architecture, astronomy, and possibly religious practices long before many other known civilizations. Callanish stones have been known since ancient times, but they gained archaeological interest in the 19th century. They are located in the Isle of Lewis, Scotland. The stones have been a part of local lore for centuries. However, systematic study and excavation began with figures like James Matheson, who cleared peat around the stones in 1857, revealing their true height. Stones are estimated to be around 5,000 years old, with the construction believed to have taken place between 2,900 and 2,600 BC. The stones are aligned in such a way that they might have been used for astronomical observations, possibly marking significant solar and lunar events. The site suggests a complex society with advanced knowledge of construction, astronomy, and the possibility to form a worship of ritual. The Dolmens of Korea have been known for centuries, but their archaeological significance was recognized more formally in the 20th century. They are located in South Korea. These stones have been a part of the cultural landscape for millennia. However, their significance in archaeological terms was highlighted by various researchers and archaeologists over time, with no single discoverer attributed. While the dolmens themselves aren't directly carbon dated, the construction of these dolmens is generally dated to the Bronze Age around 1500 to 300 BCE. Given the estimated construction period, the Dolmens of Korea are approximately 3,000 to 4,500 years old. Korean dolmens show a variety in construction, with some being table-shaped and others capstone-supported, indicating diverse regional practices or evolution over time. Easter Island, known to its inhabitants as Rapa Nui, was first recorded by Europeans on Easter Sunday in 1722 by Dutch explorer Jacob Roggeveen, which is why it's called Easter Island. It's located in Chile, South Pacific Ocean. While the Rapa Nui people have known about the statues for centuries, the first European to record them was Jacob. The statues themselves aren't directly carbon dated, but associated organic materials and archaeological context suggest they were created between 1250 and 1500 AD. With that date in mind, these statues are approximately 774 to 874 years old. The statues are believed to represent important ancestors or chiefs. They were carved from volcanic rock, with some weighing up to 86 tons, showcasing the Rapa Nui's sophisticated understanding of stone carving. Theory suggests these statues were walked to their location using ropes and manpower, demonstrating an impressive feat of engineering and coordination. Contrary to popular belief, the Maui have full bodies, not just heads. Many are buried up to their shoulders. Angkor Wat was brought to wider Western attention by French explorer Henry Mauhat in 1860. This temple is located in Cambodia. Henry is often credited with rediscovering Angkor Wat for the Western world, although it was never truly lost to the local Khmer people. Historical context and artifacts place this temple in the 12th century, roughly 874 years ago, or 1150 AD. It's considered the largest religious monument in the world, covering an area about 400 acres. Angkor Wat represents Mount Meru, the home of the gods in Hindu mythology, with the center tower symbolizing the mountain's peak. Originally dedicated to the Hindu god Vishnu, it was gradually transformed into a Buddhist temple complex, reflecting the religious shift in the region. The archaeological significance of Bujang Valley was recognized in the mid-19th century, particularly with the findings of William Watt around 1840. It's located in Malaysia, specifically in the state of Kedah. While the local inhabitants were aware of the ruins, the formal archaeological interest was sparked by William Watt, a local landowner and amateur archaeologist who began excavations around 1840. Based on archaeological findings and historical context, Bujang Valley civilization is believed to have thrived between the 3rd and 12th centuries AD, making it approximately 800 to 1,700 years old. Bujang Valley was a significant center for trade linking Southeast Asia with India and China, evidenced by the variety of artifacts found, including pottery, beads, and religious statues. The valley features numerous temples, including a blend of Hindu and Buddhist influences, showcasing the religious diversity of cultural exchange at the time. Recent discoveries have highlighted extensive iron smelting sites, suggesting advanced metallurgical knowledge and economic activities beyond just trade. The Kailasa Temple, part of the Ellora Caves, but continuously known by locals. It gained significant Western attention through explorers like James Burgess in 19th century. It's located in India. Kailasa Temple is approximately 1,241 years old to 1,267 years old. It was carved out of a single rock, making it one of the largest monolithic structures in the world, showcasing incredible ancient engineering skills. The temple was excavated from the top downwards, which is unusual and shows advanced planning and execution. Despite being primarily dedicated to Shiva, it features elements of other Hindu deities, reflecting a broader religious tolerance. Ishi no Hoden, located in Takasago, Hyogo Prefecture, Japan, has been known historically, but its precise discovery date in modern archaeological terms is not specific. However, its significance was recognized and documented in the 19th century by scholars like Philip Franz von Seybold. Its historical and archaeological importance was noted by various scholars over time, with detailed sketches made by Seybold during the Edo period. Based on historical records like the Harima Fadoki and archaeological assessments, Ishi no Hoden is believed to be from around the mid-7th century, making it approximately 1,300 to 1,400 years old. It is carved from a single rock, weighing about 500 tons, making it one of the largest monolithic structures globally with precision that still baffles modern understanding. The megalith appears to float due to its placement above a pond, an effect achieved by a hidden pillar at its base. It is part of the Oshiko Jija shrine, referred as a Shinto deity, symbolizing spiritual power and mystery, with legends attributing its creation and deities. Some fringe theories suggest that the precision of the construction might indicate extraterrestrial or lost advanced technological influence. The Yangshan Quarry has been known historically, but its significance was recognized and documented over time, particularly during the Ming Dynasty. It is located in China near Nanjing. This was an active quarry for centuries. However, its historical significance was noted by various scholars and historians over time. The quarry has been used since at least the 6th Dynasty's period, 220 to 589 AD, making parts of it over 1,400 years old. It's famous for an unfinished stele ordered by the Yongle Emperor, intended for his father's mausoleum, which would have been the tallest stone structure in China if completed. The project was abandoned due to the logistical impossibility of transporting the massive stones, showcasing an overambitious imperial project. Most of the quarry's notable work is attributed to the Ming Dynasty, particularly under Emperor Zhu Di, reflecting significant construction efforts after Nanjing.